Hey Deep Quenched over here with a review of the Power Rangers Megaforce Lion Mechazord and Robo Knight Power Ranger. Yay! It does not come with a figure, but rather it comes with that, which they're passing off as Robo Knight because, well, it is. But it's actually the little figure that transforms into the Lion Zord that attaches to this Mechazord body. So you're really not getting anything bonus with it. It's actually just a normal piece of the toy. Unlike the Tiger Tank that came with a Red Ranger figure, this one comes with something that's essential for the actual toy. So it's not really a freebie whatsoever, but hey, whatever. Tank mode, Lion mode, fire missiles, 2 power cards. Shows how to make Gosei Grand Megazord. Back here, again, Gosei Grand Megazord. And then right back here, it shows if you add the Gosei Great, you get the Gosei Great Grand Megazord, which I might slip and call Grand Gosei Great Megazord just because I think that sounds a heck of a lot better than Gosei Great Grand. But to each their own. Very cool artwork on here. It started with, I think, the Sword Cycles had some pretty cool artwork in the corner with the Samurai line. And then the Tiger Tank came out and the artwork was stunning. And this is no exception. I love this. I don't see Sea Lion anywhere, but Sky Lion's flying up here. That's pretty neat. Sea Lion is nowhere to be found. He's underground or in the water or something. I don't know, but that's a nice little inclusion. So very cool box art. So props to Bandai for that. I do appreciate very nice artwork on these packages. Even if I don't keep the packages, you can get good pictures and scans of this artwork and makes cool desktops and stuff if you're clever with Photoshop. So very cool, and I really wish that they would do this for like the Megazords or some of the other vehicle toys and stuff. I think if they put them in like a box with like a slight window just to show off the toy, I think that'd be really cool because this does really catch your eye, and I do appreciate this style of packaging. So anyway, get it open and take a look. And here we have the Lion Mechazord out of its package. Mechazord, not Megazord. It slips sometimes. But anyway, as you can see, it's not really that much different than its Big Daddy Groundion. Outside of the addition of the missiles, these don't move. And there's flat gray plastic instead of beautifully painted silver plastic. Functionality-wise, everything else is the same, including the transforming toy. Just some lack of paint details. That's really the only difference. And then the ports change, obviously, because of the Zord Builder functionality. So this can roll around and be obnoxious because that's what wheels do. And then these missiles can fire by just pressing down on them. So just like normal everyday push missiles. And they do work from both directions. That will be significant in a second. But yeah, it's not a bad representation. It's just smaller. The only thing I really wish that they would have is the silver paint. I really miss because I love that so much. The only silver paint he gets right here on his nose, and then a couple little sections of the body here. So that's, I think, a bit of a shame because the silver is a very beautiful paint that Bandai always uses. So it's a shame that we kind of get stuck with the flat gray plastic, but it's not really that big of a deal. Just the only real thing I can nitpick at this because it's actually a fairly close representation of the Groundion. So I can't really complain all that much. It does what it needs to do, and that's what counts. This is $24.99, same price scale as the Tiger Tank was in Samurai. So just to give you an idea. Yeah, so you pop this off. This is the figure that's included. Again, it's not a free figure like the Tiger Tank's Red Ranger. This is a much needed component of the actual Zord. So this just flips open and pulls the legs down. Pull his little butt flap up. And there you have a little Robo Knight figure. If you compare him to the Japanese release, you can see he's just a hair smaller. And flat gray plastic. That's really the only difference between these. Transformation is identical. So nothing really new, wild, or crazy with that. But in the show, Robo Knight changes into the Lion Zord and then attaches to become the Lion Mechazord. So at least I assume so. That's how it worked in Goseiger with Gosei Knight. He transformed in the Groundion header. I assume it's going to be the same in Goseiger, or else I don't think they would have this functionality in it at all. So I think it's safe to assume that Robo Knight's going to turn into the Lion Zord. So the rest of this body actually can function as a tank mode, which is a new feature for this. I mean, you could probably pass it off in the Groundion release. It's just no one ever really tried. Switch the missiles around so that they're facing in this direction. Just like so. Flop this around so that the colored part is up on top. Pop this off completely because you're going to need to switch that around too. So pop that together. Piece this back together. These hinges love to pop off. So pop that up. Attach that like so. And then Robo Knight is going to pop a squat. And there's a little peg on his butt right here. Right there on his butt. That'll line up with this peg hole right here. And then you just kind of have to peg him in. Yeah, he doesn't really sit all that well in the little peg hole. It just doesn't want to stay whatsoever. You can kind of plug his feet into those holes right there. So yeah, that's the idea of a tank mode. I think it's kind of ridiculous, but so be it. Big cannon and stuff. I don't know. It's really stupid. Last but not least, we have the Gosei Grand Megazord, which is the combination between this thing, Sea Lion and Sky Lion from the cycles. Just remember to detach the cycle parts that are on these. Otherwise it'll not work right. So just keep that in mind. So to get him into the Gosei Grand Helmet of Happiness, you'll see why I call it that in a minute. Place his feet together just like so. Flip the butt flap up to reveal the head. Flip these around. And they'll kind of rest very nice on these little grooves on his face. So there's the head of Gosei Grand. He's very smug. Look at him. He's just like, I'm smug. Heck yeah. Basically dismantle this entire thing. Thinking about it, this probably should have been flopped for the tank mode. Should have went like that. But that's fine. Doesn't really change too much. So just like so, head will go right up here, which is actually kind of a difficult plug to work with. I don't know why exactly, but this will plug in right there on his chest. Take the Sky Lion. That'll be 1 foot. Be careful when you're doing that because he has a very tight, these cycle ones have pretty tight little plugs sometimes. So be careful with that. Then these will be the arms. Just kind of line up the hands and they go right up here. And voila. The missiles you can either take off or leave them on. I prefer just leave them on because I don't want to lose them. Plus, it kind of doubles as like an arm cannon kind of thing. So you can be like, oh, and arm cannon it. And that's always a fun little addition to what he can do. So this is Gosei Grand. Nothing too crazy. I mean, you got crazy helmet up here. All the way down to the lions down there. So this is kind of like the Lion Mechazord in a sense, because it's made up of 3 lions, one of which belongs in the sea and one of which belongs in the sky. I don't know any lions that fly, but that's fine. Very cool overall. I like the way he looked in Goseiger. He's kind of bulky and kind of a little bit strange, particularly in the helmet region up there with his little top hat of destiny. But whoa there. But still really cool. I like the 3 Zord combination that they had going on here. And again, this is Zord Builder functionality, so you can put like the Gosei Tiger Mechazord on here. You could put the Triceratops or Tiger from MMPR on there. Dragon or Bear from Samurai on there, anything you want to. Zord Builder functionality, mix and match. Awesome little feature that they got going on there. So outside of the sheer size, and then obviously the notable paint differences, particularly in the Sea Line and the Skyline because they got reduced to cheap cycles, the only main difference is a dark blue face for Gosei Grand and a kind of baby blue, powder blue face for the Gosei Grand Megazord. That's really the only difference between the two besides the sheer size, the added missiles, and obviously the port changes. That's really the only difference. So a very nice representation of it overall. So on top of Gosei Grand, it can also combine with the Gosei Great Megazord to make the Gosei Great Grand Megazord, which I would probably call the Grand Gosei Great Megazord because it sounds better, but I don't name things for Bandai or Saban apparently. So yeah, we'll just stick with what they give us. So we're going to need that guy too. So these two will combine to form what can be known as a very weird looking thing. So basically dismantle the entirety of Gosei Grand. All of it. There we go. And this part too. So all of the pieces. Gosei Great isn't going to really change all that much. Pop off the Dragon Zord. Pop off the helmet. Pull out the sword. Put the helmet back in the sword. Just like so. Alright, and that's it for now. Take this skirt piece, open it up. This will plug into these back ports right here, right down there on Gosei Great. Yes, I know it's Gosei Great Megazord, but Gosei Great's just easier to say, so live with it. Fold these wings back down. You can fold them down like this if you want to. Just for the sake of things, I will, just because why not? Pop off the Phoenix Mechazord and the Shark Mechazord. This body piece is going to do a little bit of flip-flopping around, so fold these back like this. Just like so. Plop these forward, and this piece will attach right here. And then reconnect itself right on those ports, just like that. Take the dragon. Dragon's going to go right up here and hang out, because that's where he wants to go. Take off the tiger and snake Zords, and just kind of rest those here. These are going to turn into feet. Just pop this portion up, flip the missiles around so that the feet can fire missiles, because why not do that? If you have the missiles, you might as well use them. Pop that. So pick this guy up. This is just going to clip in. The Japanese version actually had a header port system right in that clip right there, but we took it out. So you're just going to have to rely on the foot clip right there, which is still plenty sturdy enough. It's not a bad thing or anything. Just like that. So those are your new feet. You can see my ornaments. Yay! Okay, so the sea lion is going to turn into an arm with the shark Zord on top. So take this piece right here, and you're going to have to connect them like so. So there's an arm. Take the snake Zord and attach it right there. Skyline, same exact system, except with the Phoenix. That will attach right there. Take the tiger, attach it right there. These are on a really weird slant, but that's just how it goes. Attach and attach. So we're getting there. Take the Lion Zord. This is just going to split open. Line it up however you see fit. There is no like right way and wrong way, just kind of whatever you think looks the best. Attach that right up there, and you have the Gosei Great Grand Megazord, or Grand Gosei Great Megazord, depending on how you see fit. So very cool little combination. The only thing that really bothers me is this open port right here. That bothered me in the Japanese version too. I just didn't particularly like the way that looked. You can actually take the dragon, put it down here, take the Lion Zord, put it right there, and then with the Japanese version I put the Ultra Zord on here because it turned into Datus's head. And I attached that right there, and it made a pretty cool like Deluxe Megazord thing, but alas, you can't do that with this version. The rest of the components do make up a weapon. So if you go like that and attach this, you've got what can be a sword. The handle is a little bit low, but you can still have him wield it. You just kind of need to do a little bit of fendangling. Just like that. So he can still hold it. It just doesn't really look right. But what's supposed to happen is it's actually supposed to hold it like a normal person would hold it. Like this. And the Beetle Zord, or the Kuwaga Zord, or whatever, attaches to it and forms a staff with a little pincher thingy at the end of it. So that's what's supposed to happen. But if you don't want to ruin like your Zord Brothers display or anything like that, any Zord attaches to this. You can attach the Ultra Zord since you won't be using it for anything. You could just leave it blank, flip it around like I just did. It doesn't look all that great, but it kind of looks just like a sword with like a shield attached to it or something like that. And also keep in mind that the actual combination does have these wings out. But if the American version gave us the ability to fold them, might as well fold them. So here is the actual finished combination of Ground Gosei Great, or Gosei Great Grand. Getting all my names mixed up here, but still pretty cool of a little device dude here. So as you can see here, outside of the normal, hey look it's smaller, and hey look it has less paint applications, aesthetically talking, it is pretty much the same identical piece. The only real difference that I've been noticing is the fact that the Japanese ports are stronger, so you got less shake with this one, whereas the Zord Builder ports are quite a bit shaky. So you've got a lot of floppability on this guy. It's my new word of the day. So if you can look past that, then it's a fairly decent substitute. Yeah, it's smaller, but overall I think you get your money's worth with the American release. Then obviously another main difference is that you only have one piece here for the staff weapon, so the staff is quite a bit shorter and looks a little bit funny. But outside of that, it's still a nice combination. It utilizes all of the pieces of the two main Megazords for this line, plus a random header, which actually bothers me a little bit, because you could pull this off just by getting the two cycles, the Lion and Gosei Great, but then you have a like lump for the staff, and that's just kind of bothersome, hence why I flipped it around and made like a larger sword. But you can't really hold it properly, so there's always that factor in too. But I wish like the Lion would have came with like another Beetle Zord or something that was maybe a bit stylized or something to make it unique, that could attach onto here, and so if you didn't own the Zord Brothers sets, then you could still have the full staff. So that's a little bit of a bummer, I think, but not a huge factor because you can always flip it around and pretend. So pretty cool. Again, outside of this bad boy right here, showing off one last time, you can make a combination that was seen in the Goseiger vs. Shinkenger film. That was Hyper Ground Gosei Great, which I'm going to call Ultra Gosei Great Grand Megazord. So let's go ahead and show that off real quick. And voila. Basically, it is just Ultra Gosei Great Megazord with the Ultra Change header on this shoulder, the Hammerhead on this shoulder, and Skyline and Sea Lion are now on the upper parts of the backpack here, with the Lion Zord as the head. So it's a nice little bonus combination, I guess you could say. It was only used in that team-up movie, so if by chance we don't use that footage, we'll never see this in Megaforce. But it's just something I wanted to show off anyway, and I actually kind of like the look of it. It's a shame that can't use all the parts of the other Zords, but hey, it's a nice little bonus combination that I think is kind of neat. So overall, it's probably worth the $24.99 just by the basis that it adds so much to your collection if you've been collecting everything up until this point. If you haven't and you just pick up this, then, well, first of all, no offense, get your brain checked because that's just a stupid idea in general. But it doesn't have any playability on its own. You got the Lion mode, the little Robo Knight figure, and the Tank mode, and that's it. You definitely need the 2 cycles to get the most play value out of this. And then having Gosei Great kind of maximizes it in general. Plus you have that bonus combination of Ultra Gosei Great Grand. So that's always fun too. So it does add quite a bit for $24.99. It's not as impressive as the Tiger Tank was, in my opinion. But since this is a full-fledged Mechazord that can create various different Megazords, I kind of give it a pass in that aspect. It's a nice smaller version of the Japanese release. You don't lose anything. You gain these missiles, so if missiles are your like guilty pleasure in toys, then by all means, hey, you got missiles now. The tank mode's a bit of a letdown, something that really isn't necessary, and I feel they just kind of discovered they could do and was like, hey, let's market this as a tank. Okay, that's a good idea. So I barely really factor that into anything. So pretty cool release for $24.99. You should be able to find it at Toys R Us. I think might have it for $29.99 knowing them, but Walmart. I picked this up off Amazon.com, which I think still has them in stock right now, so go check that out if you're interested. Pretty cool release, but just kind of a crappy toy if you don't have all the other Zords as well. 2 power cards are included in this release. The Lion Zord card, P47, and Gosei Grand Megazord, P49. So let's go ahead and check those out in the Morpher. Voila. We'll do this one first because it's on top. What a surprise. Megazord card summons the Megazord. Wow. Spoiler, summon Zord. Yay. Cards. Go over there. So you get 2 power cards plus all of this for $24.99. Not too bad of a deal. Even better of a deal if you have all the other toys as well. So you can check out shugenshinobi.com for updates on my reviews and hauls and my Goseiger vs. Megaforce comparison page. And be sure to check out RidersRangersandRambles.com, the podcast bringing the latest token news in the craziest way possible. So take care and have a great one. And that little paint chip on his nose is really bothering me right now. But yeah.